grades, F, 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 F. You haven't voted. But it says you can go vote, but you got to go vote for him. And people are afraid. They think, oh, I'm in violation. I have to go vote. What kind of people are these people? And then the Attorney General in Iowa is investigated, but by that time they're all gone. The election's over. What kind of people do we have running for office? No, it's honestly really, really dishonest. And I think I know why. You know why? Because he was born in Canada. Was. Happens to be a problem, folks. That happens to be. You watch. The Democrats, they've already said they're going to sue him. He gets the nomination, they're going to sue his ass off. Actually, they're going to sue the country, but they're going to sue him. And that's a big problem.
I don't know what he meant by sue the country, but...
Yeah, sometimes you get tired.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now. All intents and purposes, folks, if Ted Cruz is the nominee for the Republican Party, if it is Ted Cruz, I will support him 100%.
Right.
If it's Marco
and
Rubio,
I will put aside the fact that I don't think I personally, and I don't know if Brian disagrees with me, agrees with me, or whatever. I know he heard that one video I sent him, but I don't believe that the founders, if we could dig them up and put some electrodes on them and resurrect them, I think that they would say, what? He's from where? And his parents are what? What? No, guys. This is not what we're doing here. I believe all the founders would agree that he's ineligible. That being said, I've got to put that aside because you do have to vote for the lesser of two evils. And I'm not saying that him not being born in America or being eligible makes him evil. It just means that allowing that could be the potential for evil down the road. However, no way do you let a communist in power like we have right now with Barack Obama. And it's equivalent to kind of go ahead and let, Putin take over.
Why not? I mean,
it's like what Rush said years ago it was a couple years ago when they started implementing Obamacare. He said, I feel like we've lost the Cold War and the Soviets are in our country telling us what we're going to be living under now and implementing their communism.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was very emotional. I mean, it was very emotional because having lived through the trail end of the Cold War myself, it's just really, it was upsetting. It was really upsetting to hear about how we lost the Cold War and that the Soviets are implementing their communism now because that's exactly, he was dead on balls accurate there. But that being said, you don't let the evil communists come in and take over our country like we did with Obama or ever again.
Right. Well, here's something that I brought up earlier, the article I ran across on the dailymail.com, and I was bringing this up, I was kind of talking to Kerry about this. Donald Trump he's out of his element in the sense that he doesn't know this game. And Breitbart did a piece on this, and basically what it said was that Trump doesn't understand fully the real rules of this game. And
what do you mean by rules?
Right. Well, the rules are bend the rules as far as you can. If they break, run away.
Oh, so you're saying like the eligibility issue?
Sure. Bend and twist all logic.
And steal elections and pull shenanigans. Correct. Where you start accusing other candidates of suspending their campaign.
Correct.
Or even if you look at the Bernie Sanders situation, if it comes down to a coin flip, make sure that you have your network in place that will be there in order to ensure that it's a heads.
Right.
On all 6 times. Everyone has to be a heads.
Takes a lot of money.
And if somebody questions you about that, this is what you say. There's a 1.5% chance that it happens.
Correct.
Not 0.
Correct.
That's what you say. It is not impossible.
No. It's possible.
Prove that it didn't happen.
No, it did. I saw it happen.
There you go.
So, wow. So there is a thought in the political world when you're running a campaign there's like a backbone. There's something that's extremely important in all past elections that a lot of candidates will put a lot of emphasis in, and some candidates won't. And what I'm talking about is polling. Not polling that the news does. I'm talking about your own personal campaign poll, where you go out, you may buy polls from companies, or you may set up, offices or whatever to do polling, whether it be on demographics, whether it be on words that you say. What are the key words? And if you can hear the way I'm talking, it does get a little sketchy that a politician would poll the public in New Hampshire or in Iowa specifically. What do they want to hear?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay,
but politically,
we're polling. Important. Yeah, we're polling in Michigan. So don't say bacon.
Why? What happens?
There's
when
a lot of Muslims up there.
Oh, okay. And you need the Muslim vote up there,
right? In Dearborn, Michigan. When you're up campaigning in Dearborn, Michigan, do not say the word bacon.
Okay,
not at all.
What about lipstick on a pig?
Maybe so. Maybe so. So you get where I'm going with this. There's all these different slices of reality that they want to see, and they're extracting it from these polls and the people in the specific areas. Right now, all the politicians are polling in the next caucus. Like everybody's polling New Hampshire. We're all done with Iowa. There's no more polling in Iowa. And then from there, then they'll go on to Arkansas and South Carolina and take back the White House. Yeah! So what does all this mean? And why am I bringing up Trump? And he doesn't know? Carson doesn't know either. And they're the only two
They're the outsiders.
Politicians.
They're the total outsiders.
Trump even said in an interview when they asked him, how much money are you spending on polling? He said, what? Why would I spend money on that? Get it for free from you guys.
Oh, wow. He's such a rookie.
Folks, if he loses this, it's because...
Inexperience?
It's because of polling.
But he's leading in nationwide polling.
How much polling does his camp spend money on?
Apparently none if he says he's not doing it.
0. How much money is Carson's camp spending money on?
Well, from what you just said, I'm going to guess 0.
0.
Okay.
How much money, ballparking it, has Cruz spent?
Cruz is an actual, real, professional politician.
Oh, and we'll go back to when he was in high school, back in Texas. He was handpicked as the head of the Republican debate team, and they got together a handful of these guys, and they memorized the Constitution forward and back. And they would travel all over Texas to VFW halls or Masonic lodges or the Rotary clubs, and they'd go to all these different halls, and there'd be a big dinner because the club would put on the dinner, and they would write on boards the entire Constitution, all memorized, word for word. And after the dinner, they would take questions, and they would talk about the Constitution.
So if you locked Cruz in a room with a piece of paper and a pencil, he could write word for word the Constitution.
I'd put my next paycheck on it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we know he also has the kind of photographic memory that a savant has.
Well, there is somebody else who knows the Bible word for word too.
The whole Bible?
Lucifer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Johnny Five.
Oh. Hey, what about that guy that memorized 400 decimal points past 3.14 pi?
Right, and I can't remember his name, but he's a very famous savant. But those kind of savants usually suffer from like Rain Man suffered from severe autism.
So what are you saying about Cruz? He's autistic?
Well, I mean, listen to the way he talks.
Whoa!
I'm not saying severe. I'm saying a mild form of autism. Just a mild bill.
Wow!
Breaking news.
We got an autistic candidate.
The first.
From Canada.
The second.
Well, it probably was because of all that acid rain from Detroit.
Oh, that could be. That could be.
Possibility.
All right.
Okay, so anyways, I digress.
We just broke news here.
So he would do all of this, and that was his thing. He also got positions where he would help out very conservative judges. He's definitely been in the conservative movement most of all his life. However, little less known story. It's back in the 50s. When the Batista regime dominated Cuba, raped and pillaged Cuba, the Batista, it wasn't the capitalist in America. They started to pull out because the Batista regime was stealing their money from the casinos and everywhere. And one night on New Year's night, Batista packed up all the money and all the gold he could get, loaded up the jets, said, "Peace out! We're gone, fool! We milked this cash cow as long as we could."
Moving to Beverly.
Right.
Hills, that is.
Right. and from that leave, it took Castro, how long do you think it took him to get control? After the entire government?
No idea.
Well over a year.
Okay.
And who was there by his side? Throwing Mazel Tov cocktails, bombing buildings, and murdering people in the Revolucione.
Bernie Sanders?
Raul.
Oh, Raul. Yeah, okay.
Raul Cruz.
Cruz?
Ted Cruz's father.
He was there?
Yes!
What?
He was there in support of the Castro regime.
Okay.
However, I will say this.
Can we give him a pass?
Raul's sister was on the opposite of her brother.
So there's a lot of political strife going on, and families could be, I mean, you have a sister.
Yeah.
You have a sister that would definitely be throwing Molotov cocktails.
Maybe not anymore.
Okay, about 2 years ago.
Oh, years ago. Yeah, in our past. However, Cruz, the son Ted Cruz, came out and talked up about his father, and he always talks about his father as his not his idol, but his mentor and his leader. And
really,
yeah, very much.
That's
very much.
That's where we have a problem. If he was propping up and fighting alongside of and for the Castro regime, I would expect him to either not say anything about him or even say bad things about him.
Well, he said some very good things about him young in his career, and said good things about what his father was doing over in Cuba. And then family members came to Ted and said, "Hey, Ted, this is what's really going on over here, man. Probably cut back on that rhetoric." And so Ted came back out and apologized to a crowd that he once formally told that what his father was doing was a good thing, and they came out and said, "Hey, sorry about that. I didn't realize how bad it really is over there."
Okay.
Just weird stuff. So Ted Cruz's mom, born on the East Coast, saves Raul Cruz, who was imprisoned.
What was he in prison for? Throwing Molotov cocktails.
For the revolution.
Okay, he got arrested for the revolution.
She rescued him, ran to Canada.
Okay.
Bore the child, Ted Cruz. Went to the American consulate, registered him as her son, and he was a Canadian citizen all up until 2014.
That I just can't believe. Because the argument is he had dual citizenship, and he just a couple years ago renounced his citizenship to Canada, but that doesn't mean that he was not an American citizen, because you can have dual citizenship. But the whole thing is weird. That is so weird.
Left-wing,
it's not American.
No, left-wing newspapers they're spinning it, which makes me think we've got a problem.
it's not going to go away. It's not like, oh, good, we don't have any more of these racist, bigoted, homophobic Republicans going up against Cruz because now he's the nominee. They have to rally around him. So we